Yeah, Max had a good offseason. Has had a really good camp. Comes to work every day. Comes in early, stays late. Works hard. Understands the offense, how it works, how to get his teammates involved, how to help them be productive. So he's had a really good stretch here in training camp, and had a good spring to propel himself into this time period. So it's been pretty consistent all the way through.
Wow, 2 quotes, 9 months apart, a microcosm of what's going on down in Foxborough these days, which tends to be all over the place. Hello and welcome to our Bella Early Edition. I'm Trenni Casey. What I find so frustrating about this entire song and dance is that, per usual, it was completely avoidable. The reason Bill Belichick had soured on Mac Jones last season is because Mac had soured on Bill's offensive decisions. Had Bill, hired actual offensive coaches in Mac's second year in the league, might not have been such a complete waste of everyone's time. Now in year 3, Bill is all excited about how Mac looked this summer, well, as excited as Bill Belichick can get, and what he might become, which isn't shocking considering Mac has a real offensive coordinator to work with. Maybe had Bill shown the same confidence and commitment to Mac and the offense last year, the vast majority of us would have more optimism about this season. All right, let's get the show started. It is Labor Day. We welcome you in. We're all laboring on this Labor Day. We have Tom Giles here in studio. Tom Curran, Phil Perry, our Patriots insiders are down in Foxborough. Giles, I will give you the first word on this. When you hear Bill Belichick, saying a lot about Mac Jones, and in his own way, I think giving him a vote of confidence. What's your first thought about that?
It's on brand for this training camp to me. It kind of feels like it's been all about boosting Mac Jones's confidence, boosting the offense's confidence as much as possible, because they clearly are going into week 1 with the offensive line a little bit in flux. So I think he also understands, my third-year quarterback's going to go out there and he's going to put his body on the line against one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. So wouldn't hurt to maybe throw him a line here and, try to boost things up just a little bit.
Yeah, does this, Tom, I think we were kind of waiting for this from Bill Belichick, at least I was, for him to say, yeah, Mac is capable, he is our guy.
To me, I was less waiting with bated breath, because to me it's just words, and we based a lot on the absence of words. We created a quarterback controversy off of the absence of words around a quarterback who was barely able to make the team last week and may still be out of a job. So to me, we always knew that Bill was in some ways committed to Mac as his starter for the foreseeable future. Didn't love the cut of his jib. Dangled that over him by not saying the words, but I never had any doubt that words or no words, he's attached to Mac Jones. So c'est la vie on that front.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship, right? These guys need each other in order to have success in the league. Now, I don't think it's necessarily as vital a relationship as maybe it was even last year when Bill Belichick really had to be involved offensively last year. Now he has Bill O'Brien to handle most of that. He is still the head coach. He is still the starting quarterback. Those guys do need to be able to function. And I think, given what he says today, I do think it's an indication, too, of the fact that Mac Jones has had a good summer. And he has earned, if there was some trust to be earned there, I think he's earned it based on everything that I've seen and heard from this team over the course of the last 2 months. So the amount of work he's put in, the leadership that I think he's really gone out of his way to try to show. He's openly discussed these things, that he knows he needs to improve in these regards. I think he's done that. I think Bill Belichick has noticed, and so maybe that's why, part of the reason why, you're hearing some of the things you heard from him today.
Yeah, Phil, I don't think there's any, question. I think we're all on the same page as Tom, is most of us didn't think there was a true quarterback controversy, but I think all of us did wonder what the relationship was between the head coach and the quarterback, and would Bill Belichick get behind Mac Jones and put him in the best position to win? And it certainly feels like whatever issues they had last year, Phil, whether it was Bill's frustration about him going back to Alabama to, pick Nick Saban's brain, to maybe Mac Jones having frustrations openly on the sidelines, and on the Mac Jones side to feeling like he was set up to fail. It does feel like at least some of that is water under the bridge, no?
Yeah, I think they have to do it. Again, we're headed into the 2023 season. They've got a really good team coming in here. Like, if you're holding grudges at this point and it's impacting your ability to function at work on a day in, day out basis with two of the most important, probably the two most important people that make up the football operation, you can't have it. And so, again, if you want to succeed, If you want to do well at your job, if you're either of these guys, it would behoove you to be able to work together, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think that Mac Jones certainly reached across the aisle in a public way multiple times. And whether or not Bill did this privately prior to sitting down and deciding today to unburden himself to that question, whether he did it privately with Mac, I think that there is a step that this signifies in that, okay, he's fine, all right. Just how does it go if Mac comes sulking back to the sideline, rightfully so, if something hits the fan? Does Bill say, oh, it's that same kid again? What does he say? I get it. He's just a competitor. Last year at this time, it would have been, oh, he's a competitor. I love the kid. Now if he comes pouting back, he's probably going to want to screen his phone calls for the next day. Now who's he going to call?
Yeah, so that's why I'm hoping that there was like an understanding there, and that they did both kind of meet in the middle here and kind of have a meeting of the minds between the two of them. And Mac knows, like, hey, you can't do that. You can't be showing up coaches in the middle of the field. You can't be doing that in front of your teammates, you know. And I think that also, you know, getting back together on the same page with Bill Belichick probably goes a long way in the locker room as well. You know, if anyone, for whatever reason, you know, had gone to the Bailey's happy side in the middle of last year, I think that this also curries favor with, you know, just about the entire locker room.
I will say this, though, to Tom's point about whether or not, you know, Mac Jones comes sulking back to the sidelines or gets frustrated. I think right now things are hunky-dory, but if he does get beat up behind that offensive line, or a receiver that he thought he was on the same page with is not running the correct route, or they're having trouble scoring in the red zone, like, I could see Mac getting frustrated again and being like, because we saw it already one time late in practice when he was hit, when the offensive line didn't protect him, Tom losing his mind and saying, you know what, I can't believe that, like, yeah, you gave me a coordinator, but you didn't give me the guys in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a buffer. There's a buffer, though. Sorry, Tommy Giles. There's a buffer now. It goes to Bill O'Brien. And Bill Belichick, if he wants to say, Robert, it's the guy you wanted. The offensive coordinator, I guess he's not doing a good enough job for him, which he wouldn't do. But I'm saying Bill O'Brien now serves as a buffer. And if he mopes and kicks rocks, Mac does, it's not a direct rebuke to Belichick because he gave him somebody who wasn't prepared. O'Brien can just hear from Bill, you deal with him.